Hello, students, and welcome back to another language lesson. And we begin the tense. Okay, so today we will start with the tense, and in this video, we will do the present tense as well as the past tense. Future tense will be done next week. Okay, okay, as you can see, we are beginning with the present tense. Fine. Now, the present tense is just a broad category, but when you look at a particular verb in a particular sentence, and if you are asked to describe the tense of that particular verb, then you will have to speak in very technical terms. You are not supposed to tell me that this is in the present tense. You will identify whether it is the simple present, present continuous, present perfect, or present perfect continuous tense. Have you understood? So there is nothing called the present tense. Yes, it everything it is, you either speak in the present tense or in the past tense or in the future tense. That is a broad category. But when you have to identify the tense of a particular verb, these are the things that you are going to look at. So you need to know what is what, and you might have to make a sentence. A verb will be given, and you might have to make a change the verb to the simple present form, or the present continuous form, or the present perfect form, or the present perfect continuous form. Or the verb might be in the present perfect continuous form, and you might have to change it to the simple present form. So how will you do that if you do not know what it stands for? So we are going to go ahead and understand what each one, what function each one performs, right? We begin with the simple present tense. Now the simple present tense basically perform four functions, or you can identify a verb to be in the simple present tense by looking at these four situations. In these four situations, if it is describing a habitual action, for example, look at the sentence up there. I wake up at 7 a.m. every morning. Fine. Do you wake up at 7 a.m. every morning, or you wake up at 8:55 a.m. 5 minutes before the class? Yes. Okay, so that's beside the point. Now, we also talk about a universal truth, something which never changes. The planets revolve round the sun in their own orbits. This is something which is scientifically proven, and we know that it is a universal truth and it is applicable for anyone at any time, at any place, all over the world. Yes, so a true statement, which you know that it is a true statement. Sometimes we want to express a fact, certain facts. Our teachers teach well. Okay, so a future event that has already been planned for. For example, the match starts in an hour from now. We know that the match has been scheduled, so the match is supposed to start. So we say a future event. Now, but look at the verbs and you look at the subjects. See, I wake up, planets revolve, teachers teach, match starts. So, what is happening here? You're talking about the first person, second person, third person, and we are talking about the first person. First person singular will not take the S. Remember, we have done that. And the planets, they are the third person. So, the planets is a plural. So, if it is a plural, then it will take the single verb, that is revolve. Yes. And teachers, in the same way, teachers, we are talking about teachers. Now, if the sentence was, if the sentence had been our teacher, then it will be teaches. Yes. So our teachers teach well, or our teacher teaches well. So you need to keep this also in mind when you're doing the tenses, my dear students. And the match is the third person singular, so it says starts. Clear? So present continuous tense now. So the present continuous tense, like the verb, like the word continuous, the word is continuous. It shows, that means the action is in progress. Whenever you want to show an action which is in progress, you will use the continuous tense. It could be a past, it could be the present. When it is in the present, we talk about the present continuous tense. For example, the action which is in progress right now, I'm reading a book. So that is continuing in the present. It hasn't finished. You haven't finished reading a book. You are still reading it. So that is the continuous tense. Sometimes it is not happening right now, but still at the same time it is in progress. It may not be in progress, but it is still relevant in the present time. For example, she's working in TCS. So she might not be working in TCS right now. It might be a holiday for her today, but she's still occupied in that. It's a present form. It's a period of time in which she is working in TCS. Now, sometimes when we want to refer to something in the future, which is you're almost very sure that you're going to do that, then also you may use the present continuous tense. Why? Because you have already planned for it now in the present, though it is in the future. They are going to donate a huge amount of money to an NGO. A huge amount to an NGO. It means money, isn't it? A huge amount to an NGO. So that is something which is the planning is done in the present. So therefore it is present continuous because you haven't completed it. Once you finish it, then you will use the perfect tense, which we will come to next. But before we go on to the perfect tense, let us look at the way in which it is being mentioned. I am reading, she is working, they are going. Look at the way in which the verbs are being written. I am reading. You can see the auxiliary which is there added. If it is I, you use am. If it is he or she, you will use is, working, and the ing form. You will say I am read plus ing form. Same way, she or he is work plus the ing form. They, the auxiliary verb are, go plus the ing form. Is this clear to everybody? Fine. So what will it be if you say you? You are going. It will follow the same one as they. And what about if I ask a name? Suppose Anil. So Anil will also follow the third person singular. She, he, or any name. Is this clear to everybody? You must remember the structure. See, that's why I've written it in red so that you remember the structure of a present continuous tense. Moving on to the present perfect tense. Now, again, look at the word perfect. What is perfect? Something which is completed, isn't it? Something when you finish it, then you say it's perfect. So, it is indicative of any completed action. So anything that has finished, we can say that it is in the perfect tense. So the first sentence there is she has finished her homework. Fine. I wonder who she is. Okay. Anyway, an action that has just been completed. Sometimes, just you have finished a work and then you say something and you say a sentence about it. That is also the present perfect tense because it's completed. I have transferred the money to your account just now. Now, you may have finished the homework earlier. So that is also perfect. But something which is done just at the moment before you speak, you finish that. I have shut the laptop. So that is just, you've done it just now. So that is also present perfect tense. Sometimes an action that has started in the past and is still in progress. For example, my parents have shared their joys and sorrows all these years. They're still continuing to do that. But you are talking about a situation which has happened in the present, in the past, but it is still continuing. It is true even in the present times. In that situation also, we will use the present perfect tense. Now look at the verbs, how they are being used. Has finished. Okay, so has finished, you will have to use has or have looking at the subject. That means she has finished, I have transferred, my parents have. What will it be? You have. Fine. So it will be have or has plus the verb and the ed form of the word or the participle form of the verb. Clear? Now, this is the last part of the present tense, that is the present perfect continuous tense. Now, what is this one? It's present perfect continuous. So, it is perfect as well as continuous. So, an action that has started in the past and is still going on. So, it has been perfected to a certain extent. So, that's why it is perfect because it has happened. A lot of it has happened. But still, it's not over. So it's still going on. So that is why it is continuous. So present perfect continuous. Now look at the way in which it is written. The verbs have been waiting. So I have been and then wait plus ing. So you will have to use have or has because it is present perfect. Okay. So I have been waiting here for my friend. She has been doing this for more than an hour. Fine. So she has been doing, I have been waiting. These are present perfect continuous tense. So you either use a has or a have in the present perfect. Remember? But in the continuous, you will have to use another word, been, in front. And then you will have to use the verb wait plus ing. Is this clear to you, students? Fine. So this is the present perfect continuous tense which has started in the past but is still going on. Clear? Okay, so now we begin the past tense. Past tense, as I had told you, is following the same rules. We have the same four types of past tense. There is nothing called the past tense. If I say identify the verb, if it is the simple past tense, you will have to say it is simple past. If it is past continuous, you will have to say past continuous tense, or the past perfect tense, or the past perfect continuous tense. Same kind, but everything is related to the past, nothing to the present. Sure. Okay, we begin with the simple past. Simple past are generally describing actions that was completed before it is being spoken about. When you make a statement, if that action has happened before that, that is the past tense, simple past. I ate my lunch. You're just giving a simple fact. I ate my lunch. They gave her an applause. Just facts about what happened in the past. Find an action that was completed before it is being spoken about. I ate my lunch, they gave her an applause. So all these, look at these, you use the simple past form verbs. That is called the simple past tense. Okay, we begin the past tense again. It is a simple past. Still we are in the simple past tense. But here, this is a negative tense, negative sentence. A negative sentence expressing a simple past verb. For example, the previous sentence was I ate my lunch in school. But if you say no, if you want to say that you did not, then you will have to say I did not ate. I did not eat my lunch. So you will have to use the present form of the verb. Whenever you see an auxiliary did, you will have to use the present form of that word. Most of you make this mistake, students. I did not ate, you did not came, you did not told. All these are wrong. So, but most of you speak such uh, all the time you have been speaking in this kind of wrong English, you seem to think that it is correct, but it isn't. So please learn the right form, and that is why there is a special video which I have posted, another one which is along with this video. Watch that video, and that will explain to you why you need to use the present form along with the did, because all whenever you see a did, you will be able to understand that you will have to use the present form. But the trickiest part is when you have the irregular verbs. Remember, we have done the verbs, irregular verbs. Now, with irregular verbs, it is going to take a very big toll on you. For example, if you say I swam yesterday, I swam in the pool yesterday, but when you say here I did not swim, I did not swim, you will have to use the simple present form of the word swim. Fine. So you will have to know the simple present form of the regular as well as irregular verbs. Learn from the list which is given in the Renan Martin. And watch the video that will give you a very, very good explanation about how to take care about this. Clear? Moving on to the past continuous, it is an action that was going on for a period of time in the past. It was all happening in the past. I was waiting for you. They were singing in the garden. Now they are no longer singing. It was happening in the past and it has ended in the past. But it was continuing in the past. In those sentences, you will have to use the past continuous. And look at the way was or were. I was, You were, they were. So this you need to be careful about. Fine. So this is past perfect tense. Now, the past perfect tense is a little difficult in the sense that there are two past verbs in a past perfect tense. Mostly, generally, you may have even one sentence which talks about just the past perfect, that is an action that is completed at some point in the past before another action was begun. For example, I had done the homework before my mother reminded me. So look at this, I have made the first action is in yellow and the second action, the verb, is in white. So first action is the past perfect and that should always take the past perfect tense, but the second action will take the simple past form of the verb. For example, the train had left before we reached the station. So remember, in the present perfect tense, you had used has or have. In the past tense, you will use had, only had. Had is the only option, and you will use the participle form of the tense. Okay? We've come to the last one, students, the past perfect continuous tense. Now, this is an action that was going on for a period of time, which is related to some other action in the past. For example, let me clear it to you. She had been waiting for this opportunity all her life and was very happy that day. So, was very happy. Was happy is the action which is there in the past. But the action which was going on for a long period of time, that is had been waiting. So look at that again. Remember, in the present perfect you had been using has or have plus been plus the verb plus ing. Here you will use had plus been. So it is not anymore has, it will be had been ing, waiting, had been waiting, had been moving, had been shaking, had been eating. Clear? It'll go on like that. Now, students, that was the end of the lesson. Uh, I hope you have understood the past and the present tense. Now we will move on to the future tense. Fine. Now, before we move on to the future tense, I have given you homework in the Wednesday assignment. So you have to do chapter 21, chapter 22, and chapter 24. But I have written chapter 21 twice by mistake, though the exercises are the same, but one is for chapter 21, one is for chapter 22. That's a small typing error, students. Please correct it, okay? And send from chapter 21, chapter 22, and chapter 24 according to the book. So you need not copy the questions. You can just write down the answers and send it to me, to your English teachers. Lack work, you have some extra time, you can do a little more on that. You can work on it and submit a nice lack work. And Mahatma Gandhi also. Fine. So we will meet next week and we will meet for future tenses. And if you have any doubts, look at the video again. This video is very self-explanatory. You will be able to understand. You can also refer to your book. But stop, suppose you still cannot understand, wait for the class on Monday, ask your teacher, and then you can submit your assignment. Is that clear? But by Monday, Sunday, you should try to submit your assignments. On Monday is that extra one day for clarifying your doubts. Do the rest and just clarify your doubts and send it on Monday. Fine. But I hope there will be no such doubts and all of you will be able to send your assignments on time. Bye, students. Take care. Love you all.